Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Now, as we all know, not everybody who's a decent footballer, maybe gets through to academy and plays at a good level, makes it all the way. But they still have something to offer as a player, and that could be non-league. It could go in a different direction. They could coach. One of the other options is to go out and study. Certainly in the States, where they're very keen to see sort of young British players go out there and spotting a gap in the market. Tom Baker, who we spoke to on Zoom last November, has been doing just that, taking people out from the UK and offering them a showcase to top US universities. And he's in the UK now, and he's popped into the studio. Hello, Tom.
Hello, thanks for having me.
When we spoke in November, you said you had a very good reaction to our chat from people.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I think it kind of opened the door to a lot of people that didn't know about it in the first place. It is a bit of an unknown quantity heading to the US on a scholarship at university, and a lot of kind of players and parents of players kind of reached out and said, look, this might be a pathway that my son or daughter could look at if it doesn't work for them at the particular club. So yeah, it was a brilliant reaction to it.
Is it right that, I know this is in the American sports, that you can't just do the sport, you have to do a degree, don't you? You can't just play football.
Yeah, exactly that. So any of our student athletes that head to the US to play sport, they'll also be going there to study for a degree. And that degree can then last them a lifetime, right? They'll give it their all in the sport for 4 years. If it works out, they go and turn professional, and amazing, brilliant. If not, they've then got that degree that they can then fall back on and use in later life, which is brilliant.
That's good. And when they want you, I know from somebody I know's daughter was offered an opportunity that when they want you, that they'll push the boat out, won't they? The universities, to make sure they can get you out there to play for their team and give you a good education. Yeah,
absolutely. Over the last 6 years, we've had over 250 student athletes recruited on sports scholarships in America, and the largest scholarship that we've helped the young athlete receive was just under $250,000. So that university invested, I think it was $245,000 for that specific student athlete to study and play and live at that university. So if they want you, they will push the boat out for you.
It's quite a big leap, isn't it, for somebody that young to just go halfway across the world and set up a new life in an American uni. So, is that part of what you do? You try and be a bit of a bridge, make it an easier transition.
Yeah, exactly that. So we place students on sports scholarships, but what we also do is offer them a pathway to come and spend 10 days with us on a tour. So we've got a tour coming up in April to California. We're taking a squad of 18 players to California, kind of give them an opportunity to kind of see what it looks like in the US. Also give them an opportunity to be recruited by those universities that we're playing against 4 universities in 9 days. Give them the opportunity to kind of see what the US looks like, meet coaches, and then ultimately be recruited, and kind of they'll be a little bit more familiar when the time comes to actually stepping foot on the plane for real, I guess.
Without maybe dealing with sort of real names and real clubs, what's the profile of the 18 you're taking? What are their backgrounds to kind of take them to this level?
It'll be a real mix. So we will have some players who have played at, academies from Category 1 right down to a Category 4, but then we'll also have other players who might be playing for a good college or sixth form team, might be representing the county or playing good Saturday league football. So kind of you don't have to have played at an academy to go to the US. Kind of there's just a different avenue for each player that goes there. You will have some players who come from an academy, but the vast majority of our players on this specific tour, I think it's probably 50 or 60% haven't played for an academy before, and they're kind of coming over and they'll have the same opportunities that those would be if they played for an academy.
What's your background? How did you get into this?
So I went through this pathway myself. So I was in sixth form, unsure what I wanted to do after sixth form. I went to some open days at UK universities and kind of figured out maybe that wasn't quite for me. I stumbled across a university American football game on TV one Saturday night. It was Texas A&M University against Louisiana State University, American football, and there's 106,000 people watching this game. And I was kind of like, what is this? I've just been to John Moores University in Liverpool. It was great, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't a stadium with 105,000 people. So I then went down the avenue of pursuing what this looked like and ended up in a place called Charleston, West Virginia. I'd never heard of the city of Charleston before. The only thing I'd heard about of West Virginia was that famous song, Country Roads, and the rest was history. Played sport at university, played full-time football there, as well as studying for a business degree, and I'd had the best 4 years of my life, and that kind of led me back to the UK to then start 219 Sport. So that was 6 years ago.
What are the difficulties then? You've lived it, Tom. Yeah. So, say, if you're going to help them make that transition because you've been there, what are the problems that come up for these kids that go to the American unis?
It's the big thing is initially is kind of being away from home for longer than probably 4 or 5 days, and that's where our tours come in handy, kind of giving them that chance to spend 10 days in a specific part of the US.
I think it's something they might like to pursue, rather than just committing and then having all that pressure of thinking, well, I'm going to have to stick it out.
Exactly, yeah. So you kind of go and try it, see what it's like, and if you then get scholarship offers, then amazing. You kind of you've set your life up then. If not, you go there, you experience it, and if it's not for you, then you kind of realise maybe this isn't my avenue, and that's completely fine as well. Whereas opposed to we do play students without coming on a tour, and it's kind of like they're kind of going into an environment where maybe they've not been before, and those types of things. So homesickness is a big one, and kind of being away from home and adapting to weathers and different conditions and cultures, and given that huge jump, that's a lot to deal with at an 18 years of age.
Yeah. So you got one in California, one in New York, is that right?
Yeah, so California is the 8th of April. So we've got a men's tour to California, 8th of April, playing against 4 different universities. And then we're going to New York on the men's side as well at the end of May. Again, another tour playing against some universities. And then in October, we're taking a squad of women to Miami to play. So again, same type of profile of player.
I was going to ask you that. So this is just, women's football as well, which we said is big in the college circuit in the States. It's probably even bigger in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. Honestly, the opportunities that our women's players get are kind of mind-blowing. I kind of look at some of the offers that our students get, and on the women's side, it's insane. So the opportunities in the US are wild when it comes to scholarships on the women's side.
Okay. 219sports.co.uk if you want to find out.
Sounds good.
About what Tom's up to. You're obviously from Liverpool. You red or a blue?
I was fortunate enough to be born on the right side of the city. I'm a red.
Oh, okay. How are you feeling about life as a Liverpool fan? I know you're back up there at the moment. So what's the mood like amongst your Liverpool mates who are here most of the time?
Yeah, it's not great at the moment. Obviously, it hasn't been a brilliant season for Liverpool. Obviously, we had a wonderful year last year, which was amazing. Kind of winning a league title, kind of with fans in the stadium. So that was great. This season hasn't been too good. So hopefully a big rebuild this summer and kind of see where we are this time next year.
It does feel like it's going to be a big summer. I mean, possibly even in the dugout as well, with sort of the spectre of Xavi Alonso from Arne Slot's point of view. There's a ready-made person to come in, isn't there? Which would be a bit tight on him. But having said that, it's all about results, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's football, right? And I was brought up in a generation kind of watching Xabi Alonso play for Liverpool, so he's kind of a bit of a hero of mine. So if that happens, then I'll support him just as much as I support his Slot.
Well, all the best, Tom. Thank you very much for popping in, and best of luck with what you're up to. 219sports.co.uk if it's whetted your appetite and you're a young athlete or a parent of one that would like to know a little bit more about what Tom's up to. Now, also staying with the world of American sport, this time football. It's Adenderd, isn't it? I mean, the man with the most mispronounced name in American sport. A Seattle Seahawks defensive coach who got a lot of publicity when they won the Super Bowl recently, has been having a chat with our own Will Gavin. And we'll hear some of that and have a chat with Will. He's going to pop in a moment. And we're talking Newcastle before 4 o'clock as well. And that's Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent taking over. And don't forget England-Japan live on talkSPORT.